All right, guys, we got a food plot update. It has been roughly 2 weeks since I've sprayed the plot out. I've done soil amendments. You've seen my boron video where I fixed trace minerals in here. The deer vetch that is in this zone or this section of the food plot is now exploding. The leaf sizes have doubled since I have applied the boron to it. It has also averaged about another 4 inches of height in just a few days' time. There's some areas that's lagging behind a little bit, but that's okay. This is the first time I'm working on restoration. And then when it comes time for fall, I will be adding a lot of clover, high mix clover in this end, some cereal rye, and maybe some turnips. I'm still debating on what I want to do, but I want the dominant thing in this part of the plot to be clover, because I've already sacrificed my clover plot just to try to improve the soil, and I still would like to have a pretty good area of clover if the soil will allow it. So once I build up enough new soil here, I can return this back to a clover plot and see how long it lasts with good soil. Up there is my big old Russian mammoth sunflowers. They are lasting quite a bit longer than the black oil sunflowers. They have pretty much faded away. One tip I can let you know about is the poorer your ground is, the faster your plants tend to die off. And up there's better, a little bit better ground. And that's also a different type of sunflower. So I'm not knocking black oil. Those sunflowers right here just get monstrous compared to black oil. Now, let's look and see how my strategy has paid off 2 weeks ago when I said anywhere from 10 to 14 days from now that section 3 is going to blow it up. Well, I think this qualifies as a blow up. Look at how fast that soybean has taken over. Just 2 weeks time, it has more than doubled its height. Leaf sizes have more than tripled. In some cases, they are 10 times bigger than what they were initially growing. I mean, it is really, really coming on strong. Tons of deer browse in this back corner here. It kind of goes in this direction, and then it kind of fades out to a point right here. But these bean plants are flat out getting it done. And yes, I am behind, but I think we're fixing to do some serious catch up. And the other thing here, the morning coffee that I worked so hard to eradicate. I want you to look at this part of the ground right here, and what do you see? We have more morning coffee that has sprung up in the food plot. I actually want this to happen. Now my soybean is so far ahead of it that it's going to choke it out. So there's a high likelihood that the vast majority of this will not make it to seed out. So therefore, I have killed off another wave of seed in the soil. I'm speeding up the process by doing this. If none of it come up, I'd be actually thinking I finally defeated it. So the day it doesn't come up, I know I've won. So here's one other weed. Your plot doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm already here. I might as well get him. So yeah, that soybean is looking fantastic. We've got some big leaf sizes, plenty of deer browsing here. You can see where they're browsing it off, and there are some pests in here, but I can't really do much with them right now. A lot of deer browse in here. It's just growing so fast it's hard to see it now. Leaf sizes are getting really, really big here. So I think we're out of all present danger as far as weeds from here on out. And now my biggest challenge is going to be, how am I going to plant my fall blend in this and make sure it lives. So that's the only other big challenge I've got. there's that hole I had around the camera, and it's filling in very quickly now. A lot of young soybean was underneath there, and it's growing a lot faster now. So probably in the next 7 days, that'll look a lot different. But protein levels are rising. Before, they were kind of low because of the weeds, and now we are really cranking out some protein. I would say based on the leaf color I'm seeing, I probably upped it another 10 to 15%. That's just a guess, guys. There is a tip that you can go by, is how green are your leaves. Usually the deeper the green, the higher the protein level tends to be. And that's how I gauge whether or not I'm doing good. Other than taking leaves out for tissue tests, that's the only way I'm truly going to know what it is. But based on what I'm seeing, I've got to be pumping it out in the 30s right now. It looks way too green not to be. Up here, the experimental strip has really changed in the last 2 weeks. Things are evolving pretty quickly now, and the cowpeas, mung bean, the iron clay, some of the soybean, and sun hemp is now taking over. A lot of sun hemp sprouting up through here. Some of this vining beans in here, that looks pretty decent. A lot of this right here is really blowing up. That looks super green. Leaf sizes on that plant have doubled. And a lot of plants in here have doubled their leaf sizes. Sun hemp has doubled its growth, if not more, and also doubled its leaf sizes. Big time difference when this sun hemp down here with no fertilizer is 6 feet tall versus a new strip that I have just started, and the tallest one's about 5.5 feet at the most. Generally, you're looking at sun hemp 4 feet or less here. I mean, there's only one scraggly plant, and it's that one right there that's at that height. The rest of them are shorter. And the leaf sizes are about 3 times to 4 times smaller than all these big producers right down here. So I'll walk along the edge here so you can see the difference. But the sunflowers are fading away. The sorghums are starting to seed out. They're getting pretty close. I'd say within the next few weeks, I'll probably have some grains available for the deer. The birds have obviously hammered the black oil sunflowers. They've started kind of shriveling up now. So here's a healthier looking plant, and that's a much better sun hemp plant. Big okra, especially for a younger plant. A lot of good greenery here. It's hard to believe this ground used to suck so bad just 6 years ago. It is an amazing turnaround compared to what I used to get. Let's see here. Looking, so you can kind of tell now that the new strip just doesn't have a lot of oomph behind it other than what I fertilized. So you can see a lot of cowpeas and mung bean growth in here. It is really starting to take over, and that's probably what's going to be the dominant force by the end of the month, most likely into September and probably October. So from there on out, we're pretty much going to have mung bean, cowpeas, and some Laredo soybean and a little Eagle soybean in there. This end looks great. Okra plants are doing good. I will be doing a pro and con video of okra. I'm just waiting for it to get a little bit more maturity on it before I do anything. But you can see one right there. A lot of good bean plants down here. Sun hemp is working wonders. I've noticed that the soybean is just a little bit taller and greener around these sun hemp clumps. So it's got a little bit more nitrogen where the sun hemp is starting to produce a stronger dose of nitrogen now. You can see that little guy. I mean, that's helping him. He'll come up through there. So there's the turnaround, guys. Amazing, amazing turnaround. Just 2 weeks time. Tons of deer browse down here in the lower corner, and it's actually starting to outpace some of their browsing a little bit better now. So that will canopy out and start shrinking down and cover a lot more ground in here. All right, guys, you all have a great day, and I hope that you like this content. So don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. You all have a great day.